Hello, hello, my friends. It is Hondo, and welcome back to the Knights of the Nerd Republic. You know what to do, and stay profitable.
The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Action. So, you thought we were going to get an Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer yesterday. Hello there, and welcome back to Knights of the Nerd Republic, the show where your favorite nerds sit down to talk all things from the galaxy far, far away. I am your host, Jarod the Dark Jedi Bachman Stubbs, and joining me, as always, is your resident lore keeper, the one-eyed Jedi Knight himself, Conor Chikiti.
Hello, everyone. I thought you were gonna hack up a ball right there when you went off camera.
No, I immediately I warned Connor. I was like, in the event I just shut my camera off, or if I like bump myself out of the stream, it's because I'm making disgusting noises because my sinuses are draining, and I'm one of those people where like my allergies go ape shit when the seasons change. And here in at least Western Pennsylvania, it's gone from being in the 40s to being in the 60s to staying in the 60s to then snowing a little bit while I was taking out my dog before recording. So, yeah, I'm doing great. I feel great. My chest feels amazing. I've not had disgusting things coming out of me. And anybody who listens to all of the shows has like been on this journey this whole week of like me letting out the most disgusting sounding cough during the Eternals review. Maybe if people get to watch Number One Contender while I upload it while we record an hour late, we'll see me using the audio and funny video drops to mask me coughing because it shuts my microphone off and is distracting, and I didn't want people to hear me hacking. But none of that is here nor there. And before we get into the news, we got to give a word from our lovely sponsors, our lovely friends at Sunday's Bloody Mary. I love Bloody Marys. They're probably one of my favorite mixed drinks. I am embarrassing to all of my friends because whenever we go out, and we're like at a restaurant, like a bar restaurant, and I'll be like, I'll have a Bloody Mary. And because I'm an old man, but it's not that I'm an old man. I just have taste. So they have the award-winning spicy Caesar Bloody Mary mix. This is my favorite. I already ordered my second jar. That's how quickly I'm burning through this stuff. It is so damn good. There's the mild mix. They got rim salt. They have a subscription box. There's a vegan Bloody Mary mix for those of you who would like to avoid any type of animal product. They got some pickled garnishes like okra, dilly beans, and asparagus. I'm a big fan of using pickled asparagus in my Bloody Marys. They got shot glasses, all of the Bloody Mary accoutrement one could need. And if you use code TNAP, T-N-A-P, the Nerd Academy podcast, you will be helping out your favorite nerds, and you'll get 10% off your order as well. So, sundaysbloodymary.com/shop. Get yourself some Bloody Mary mix. Use code TNAP at checkout, and you help out your favorite nerds. And get yourself some badass Bloody Mary mix in the process. Connor.
Yes.
While I definitely don't handle number one contender stuff, How was your Disney Plus day?
Boring. Okay, no. Okay. I'll start off. So I woke up fairly early. I think like 10 o'clock, like 9:30, 10 o'clock or so. Not
Yeah.
early, but like went downstairs and was just kind of just refreshing my Twitter feed for pretty much everything. And when we just got the Sizzle reel for Kenobi that leaked on Thursday, to remind people about that leaked on Thursday, and then we got it again.
I was among quite a few people that I saw. Like I saw Charlie from Imperial Senate Pod. I saw Hoey also. Like both of them said the same thing I was thinking. Where I was like, I thought this was official. Like, I thought it was supposed to be out. Like I was very surprised that was a leak. I was completely under the impression that was supposed to be out and about.
Yeah, same. But like that released, and then we got nothing else, which is really weird. And I don't know the official reason. We'll probably find out in like a year or so, 2 years maybe. I don't know. But this is what I'm saying right now is going to be obviously conjecture. I can't speak today. Whatever. Just roll with it. But some people have speculated that because that leaked a day early, and this just seems weird to me, like Lucasfilm was just like, nah, we're just going to pull a plug and just not show anything else, which would be really odd.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The weird like conspiracy theories about like, and this is no disrespect to some people who are like trying to make sense of what happened, because it is weird and doesn't make any sense, and I understand that. But like the amount of people who are like doing this like galaxy brained, like Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover with all the equations and shit.
Yeah,
all
Charlie Day with Always Sunny.
Yeah. Everybody's like Pepe Sylvia-ing the fact that we didn't get a trailer yesterday, and it's like, no, like we just got what we were supposed to get early. Like, and people were talking about O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s tweet where he was like, damn, I was excited for the trailer, and I was like, and I'm in it, and people are like, see, he's confused as to why the trailer didn't drop. And it's like, do you think everybody is like made aware of what the marketing is going to be? Like, do you think like every project, like Pedro Pascal has like a detailed memo as to when exactly trailers are going to drop, except for like really big events? I don't know. I don't think there is any I don't think anything changed yesterday. I mean, or maybe it did, because like everybody was saying that we were supposed to get one, and
yeah, because when we that like little video at the end to conclude Disney Plus Day, which is funny to me that like it was called Disney Plus Day and lasted a total of like 3 hours.
I mean, I wasn't expecting everything to go on all day.
Yeah,
that was another. I think people really jacked up their expectations for a marketing event.
Yeah, and like
the thing is, the price for it.
We all did, and so it's two things.
Not all. I was the day before going, y'all need to calm down. Tomorrow is not going to be the Investors Day from last year. Like, y'all need to chill.
I wish I was like that, because
nobody chilled. Nobody chilled, and now look at us. Now look at everybody. Now everybody's bitching. I'm not bitching. I didn't get anything because I was expecting shit. I got a lot to talk about on Nerd Academy on Monday, which, by the way, is going to be a live episode because we're celebrating our 100th episode of the Nerd Academy podcast. So Disney Plus Day recap, that'll be live 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Housekeeping done, but yeah.
But
as you were saying,
as I was like, it's funny because like Star Wars was tweeting out stuff like, "Oh, we're gonna get ready for these get ready,
mark your calendars."
Mark your calendars. Kristen Baver of This Week in Star Wars like also said, like, I mean, I can't remember what she exactly said, but she pretty much also hyped it up. So it's not just like the official accounts were hyping it up. And so, like, to get just the sizzle that was leaked on Thursday, it's kind of funny and also a bit disappointing, but like, it's whatever. Because then there's the other side of the people that it's like, we deserve this. And it's like, no, we don't.
I think that there is a happy middle here. Where on one hand, like there was all of the mark your calendars language.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
where like they made it seem like we were going to get a lot of announcements throughout the day. Like everybody and their mother is announcing stuff up and down the walls. We hadn't even gotten to the Marvel stuff, which again, that's another conversation for Monday. But like the thing with the Marvel stuff, and I think the reason like so many people felt kind of jive about everything was that you look at like the mainline Disney stuff. They had their like they announced a handful of projects. There was like a trailer for like the Chippendale thing, or like they announced it. There was a Proud Family reboot trailer.
Yep.
Willow. Willow, yeah. Like there were things that like either got announced or shown in some capacity, right, throughout the day. Nat Geo had theirs. And at the end of the day, even Marvel, I think had a great strategy where a lot of their stuff ended up just kind of being like, here is a very glib amount of footage and an updated logo, right? Like that was a lot of what their stuff was, and that's fine because like I wasn't expecting this to be like Comic-Con Hall H, right? I wasn't expecting this to be a big news dump. I was expecting maybe a trailer or two. So like on the Marvel side, like a bunch of rumors got confirmed. Like we got the Echo show confirmed. We had the Agatha Harkness show confirmed. A bunch of announcements like the X-Men cartoon and the Spider-Man cartoon. All great stuff. All incredible stuff. I'm happy about that. I understand why people are disappointed where like Star Wars is still so weirdly dragging its feet when it comes to like
the marketing. It's
and
weird. And here's the thing too.
So much of us, I'm sorry, Connor, I'm sorry to keep talking over you, but like
no, you're good.
So many people look at Star Wars and then look at its like slightly more popular right now and less overall problematic little brother, the MCU, and keep going like, why can't you be more like them? Right? That like a lot of Star Wars fans just keep looking at the MCU and going like, why can't we have 4 movies, 5 TV shows, and like 18 confirmed projects coming down the pipeline? It's like, this is how Star Wars works. Like it's just not how it is. And they operate differently. And people keep wanting to shove this Star Wars shaped peg into an MCU shaped hole. And it's not working. It's not fucking working. And people I'm really frustrated by it. I am legitimately annoyed with the amount of people who like want Star Wars to function like the MCU and have like this big, yeah, it would be cool. Like we're content creators. If yesterday was huge, we would have been doing a live broadcast. I would have like been bending the arms of other podcasters so that we could
I wouldn't have done a
guests.
13-hour Twitter space.
Yeah. Connor would have been doing a 13-hour Twitter space. I would have been tagging him in to help me write show notes at that point.
Yeah.
Because I would have wanted to make sure I wasn't doing this shit alone. We had like 8 huge rumors break in the days leading up to Disney Plus Day. Like it was Star Wars this week was a powder keg
that
set to explode. It didn't go off in terms of excitement, but the fan outrage certainly did, because you have half of the, as per usual, you have half of the fandom that's being incredibly weird and entitled and like, I deserve a trailer right now. And then you have the other half that's like, weirdly going to bat for the $1 billion corporation. It's like, well, you don't really deserve it. And it's like, okay, like again, the weirdo entitled people always need to calm down and shut the hell up. I agree on that. But there was kind of a false bill of goods sold, and I feel like we haven't seen Dick for Andor. We haven't heard Dick about Bad Batch season 2. Like there was a lot they could have talked about and shown.
Yeah.
So I understand people's disappointment and frustration on one end, but and again, like and from this point forward, when I talk about people's disappointment, I am not factoring in people who are being piss babies. Like it's just people who legitimately were told to mark their calendars and didn't get shit for Star Wars.
Yeah. And like it just seems like that, again, this is just a feeling I have. It just seems like Lucasfilm just pulled everything last minute. I don't know. It's just weird. Like the thing with Lucasfilm and how they market Star Wars is like, I get why they're secretive, but like, you look at the High Republic, and that's marketed, to me at least, that's marketed super well. And like, if they, to me, I mean, obviously it's they operate differently probably, but like, if they can take the High Republic marketing and just kind of apply that to everything Star Wars, and just, the thing is like, what's the word? I'm losing track of my thoughts here. They play their cards so close to their vest, and like, I get it. I totally do. But like, sometimes it's like, just open up a teeny bit. You don't have to be like, oh, we're going to announce 20 shows in 5 minutes, but like, updates would be nice. So, maybe some other shows that you guys are working on would be nice. And again, like, obviously, you don't want to announce shows and then be like, oh yeah, they're canceled like 3 months later. But like, that's the nature of development. But like, it would just be nice if Lucasfilm opened the floodgate. Not really open the floodgates, but like, just turned the dial just a bit.
We get nothing so frequently, and again, I understand the frustration. It's like, oh, they should apply this marketing. There is none.
Yeah,
they start their big push for a TV show a month in advance, and then go from there. They're like, we don't get any real like hype other than a trailer a month in advance and kind of nothing, and like maybe a poster or two in the meantime. Like I do wish we got more, but I think we need to stop. Like we also have been around long enough to know we aren't getting more.
Yeah.
So,
like there's definitely issues with Lucasfilm's marketing, and I totally get it, and I agree with them. But like, this fandom is out of control, and like, yeah. But anyway, the Obi-Wan Sizzle reel was really neat. I watched it a few times. The concept art was incredible. Just seeing Ewan and Hayden again is going to be just phenomenal. And the fact that Deborah Chow's directing this is incredible, because like, she did great on Mandalorian, and like, I just can't get enough of Deborah Chow. She's hella cute. It's just like it kind of sucks that like all we got was a sizzle reel that was basically described at Investors Day last year? Yeah, okay, last year, and then we got.
I love how people talked about like there's concept art of Obi-Wan and Vader fighting, and conveniently left out the they're on Mustafar again part.
Yep.
That I think is funny.
Really down for, because it's like, you're going to the place that Anakin cleansed himself as a Sith, and then you're just going to be like, yep, he's going to just try to be brought back to the light again. And he's just going to say, nope, like, I'm down for it.
So, okay. Connor, don't you open up this can of worms on me. Okay.
But like, also, yeah.
The hellfire that created Vader, like the hellfire that burned Anakin Skywalker away and truly created Darth Vader, he is now the king of. And Obi-Wan, when Obi-Wan, who once thought as you do, maybe here to like try to talk Anakin off the ledge, went from I almost killed you here and like put you in this suit to now this is your domain and you rule over it, is a great visual metaphor for Obi-Wan witnessing like the hellishness that is Darth Vader. Pardon me. Going with the concept art we see, I have like this pulled up from the IGN article, so I'm just going to pop the screen up here real quick. We get like the desert look for Obi-Wan, which
It
like
reminds
cool.
me a
We kind of
lot-
saw this. We kind of saw the set leak of one of Ewan's costumes that this is pretty consistent with.
Yeah, it reminds me, that concept art reminds me a lot of the Journals of Obi-Wan Kenobi comics from the 2015 run.
We have the Inquisitor here. It looks like they're arriving on Tatooine, which would be interesting if we get an Inquisitor showdown on Tatooine.
It looks
but
like
again-
everyone said it was the second sister, and like she dead. So I'm thinking it's a placeholder, and it's
Yeah.
Moses Ingram's character.
Mm.
Or who's the other guy that's probably playing an Inquisitor? I always forget his name.
It's the guy from Fast and Furious. Hold on. I'll look it up later. Hold on. Because I keep forgetting I'm screen sharing and I can't like go away from my screen.
But we get
Yeah, no, this-
Inquisitors, so that's
Yeah.
cool. Live action Inquisitors is going to be really, really fun.
I'm pulling up the cast list again because I can't remember his name either. Sung Kang.
So, okay,
Which-
yeah.
Again, also, guys, do not, when you Google the cast for something, don't trust what Google says. Like, the cast list may be correct, but like,
Who they're
Sung
attached
Kang
to.
is already listed as the fifth brother. We don't know that. Whenever people Googled the cast for Avengers Endgame, Hugh Jackman was listed. Wolverine did not show up in Endgame.
That's funny.
Don't trust the cast list. James Spader was listed for WandaVision, and I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I hope there isn't an Inquisitor showdown on Tatooine, because again, like anything that could tip Vader off to something is going on Tatooine and it involves Kenobi, in my opinion, should be avoided at all costs. I think that's where you get into the actual continuity errors and weird plot holes. So I hope
Yep.
I hope that nothing happens on Tatooine, or at the very least, this Inquisitor turns up dead, or there's some way of covering up this missing Inquisitor. We have this location, which, considering that we're seeing Castle Vader, and we're going to be seeing Mustafar, I think this is the Fortress Inquisitorius.
Same.
Connor and I are eating good with our Fallen Order love, so this makes me happy. We got a busy Coruscant street. This could be anywhere, as this article says. Rebel base, it looks like, because we see like a Rebel pilot getting into what looks like a snow speeder, which again furthers my theory that we are getting a Jimmy Smits cameo. He's showing up as Bail, and it is Bail that pulls Obi-Wan into this mess to protect the twins. And that Obi-Wan is present with the Rebel Alliance, and they're like, hey, we need your help. And we would only ask you to leave Tatooine if it was this important. I'm standing by my theory. Something here is huge. There's something here that is giving them the opportunity to take out Vader, to either bring him back or take him out. And that is the only reason why Obi-Wan would leave Tatooine, is to take the biggest threat to the twins off the board. We see Vader in Castle Vader sitting at his throne. And then obviously the big one, we see Obi-Wan and Vader duking it out on the platforms of Mustafar again. In the sizzle reel itself, we also see Ewan practicing, doing lightsaber stuff We don't see any Hayden, but he is mentioned and that it is brought up that he's back as the Dark Lord of the Sith. So, all in all,
It's gonna be a big nut bust.
I wasn't coughing that time. I thought it was accurate.
It is accurate. Like, I have friends who definitely have, like, sort of, you know, not big concerns, but, like, genuine concerns for, like, however this show turns out. Like, it could kind of alter some continuity. And, like, I get that. And, like, I also kind of agree with it, but, like, I'm super hyped.
It's one of those here's my thing. With, like, altering the continuity. 10 years ago, a lot of people were miffed by the idea that we're just going to sneak within a 3-year period Anakin having a Padawan into the lore. Like, that just became a thing. Like, we all went Anakin trained a Padawan throughout the Clone War. Now, today, none of us flinch at it because Ahsoka's a fan favorite.
Yep.
Right? But, like, that was huge. That was a huge addition to the lore that so many of us were. And, like, this almost goes back to, like, how I always complain about, like, people who are, like, too blinded by, like, I liked this thing as a kid, but this new thing I don't like. Because I'm able to, like, look at it critically, or my opinions have been poisoned by other dumb shit. Pardon my coffee burps, but like how people like go, oh well, like I don't tell me I don't like strong female characters as I don't like Rey. I like Ahsoka and Leia. You grew up with Ahsoka, Leia, and Padme though. Like you weren't cognizant of it. It was something that was just kind of a given. We were all like 10 when the Clone Wars came out. So, like, the concept of, like, oh, this is a new thing kind of washed over us. But, like, that was a really big change to the continuity. You can say that Obi-Wan and Vader having a rematch 9 years before A New Hope happens is a big change to the continuity. And I've even seen people, like, being, like, really snarky on Twitter and going, like, oh, well, like people talk about, like, the epic rematch between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, and people going, the epic rematch is A New Hope. Like, clearly a bunch of people haven't seen the original movie. And it's like, you're kind of being a prick. You know, like, I understand what you're getting at, but, like, you can add to it. There can be more.
Yeah.
Like, this could so easily, as I like the way that I am imagining this show taking place, be Obi-Wan Kenobi's Last Jedi, and be Obi-Wan's like Obi-Wan's crisis of faith, Obi-Wan facing his demons. There's so much potential here, and so much you can mine on a storytelling, on a character piece type level from him having to face Vader again. Now, it being on Mustafar again, I'm not super into, truth be told. My biggest concern is that I don't want this to be a battle of traversal anymore. Like, that again, my biggest complaints about Revenge of the Sith, there's a bunch of fights in them and a bunch of them are super cool, but they're edited like shit. You can barely see the fights that are happening in that movie. I'm sorry, not sorry. And most of the Battle of the Heroes is them running away from shit that's exploding. Unless Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting. Like, the very beginning is them, you know, in this amazing lightsaber duel. It's edited like shit and shot like shit. And then it's them just like, it's just traversal. So if we get them fighting on Mustafar again, I really hope that, like, the whole facility isn't on fire while it happens, if that makes sense. And I really want this fight to end with Vader feeling like he killed Obi-Wan. Right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is how you
that would be a nice
close the loop.
parallel.
It'll be a nice parallel. And I think that's how you close the loop here. Of like you open up a potential continuity error, but if Vader wins,
Which he probably will.
If Vader wins and Obi-Wan is defeated, but not killed, but Vader thinks he killed him. You close that loop. So now Vader, by the time of A New Hope, has a reason to like kind of come sprinting into that meeting room to Tarkin and go, holy shit, Obi-Wan Kenobi is alive and here. And for Tarkin to be like, what? You threw him into a lava river. And for Vader to go, yeah, he threw me into a lava river and look where we're at. I think you can like close it and then have like kind of like a down the road kind of, this is why such and so on.
Yep. And like there's a line in Rebels, I think in the first episode, where Palpatine and Vader are talking, and I can't remember the exact line, but it was basically like alluded to, like it basically also, confirmed that they both think he's dead.
Yeah.
So,
and like again, like the idea that Vader having like, okay, so like right now, like we know that canonically they will face each other again. Let's look at the canon currently, because we don't know what happens. So like let's just assume it never happens. Their rematch on Mustafar. Right now, their reunion happening on the Death Star, where Vader's talking shit up until the like I always like that fight and like the vibe of it, because it feels like Vader is super withdrawn, because for the first time in a long time he is afraid while fighting a Jedi. And he's like, the last time I faced you, you almost killed me. And there's a little bit of fear coming from Vader. But the second Vader realizes you are not the Obi-Wan Kenobi of old, that's when Vader kind of like pulls out the stops and he gets a little faster and he has this little, you should not have come back. If you add this to it, I love the idea that like Vader is now worried because he's like, oh, for all I know, Obi-Wan is more dangerous than he was before Mustafar, and he survived. And not only did he survive Mustafar, he's not in an iron lung like I am. What the hell happened here? There's just a lot you can mine here that will recontextualize certain moments in the OT, and I love that so much. Like I love that me, Christian Harloff, and Becca Benjamin all immediately, like when hearing about this, keep latching on to Obi-Wan once thought as you do. And I so hope and I know you too, but I so hope that is like the driving force of Obi-Wan here, is that he has the like he feels guilt, and that we are going to see him kind of like Luke does on Crate, where like Luke is aware of the fact that he can't bring Ben back to the light side. I don't want that from Obi-Wan exactly. I do want him to try to bring Anakin back, but like I do really want to see Obi-Wan just like, man, I messed up. Like I'm not gonna pretend I'm not part of the problem here. I am. I'm sorry. Like please come home. I want to fix this. I want to see Obi-Wan try. Like I really want to see him try. I think that would be awesome.
Yes.
I'm listening. I'm sorry. I got a text about work stuff. I'm listening.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's just like the Kenobi show. It's really cool that it's one season. It makes sense. I really hope the episodes are like an hour long at least, because it's only 6 episodes. I think that says it in the press release, but I'm not sure. It's just going to be really exciting what ends up, what direction this show takes. And based on the concept art, I would assume it's a pretty interesting direction.
At 6 episodes, it's got to have to move at a decent clip, though. Like that, like look at season 8 of The Mandalorian, like trim 2 episodes of season 2. Like try to find a place in season 2 of The Mandalorian where you can cut an episode entirely. Like they tell that whole story of season 2 in 8 episodes. So in 6 episodes, we got to go. Obviously, we don't know the order, but like we got to go from Tatooine to wherever the rebels are, to Coruscant, to Mustafar, to the Fortress Inquisitorius. Like, there was a lot of traveling happen. And I would not be surprised if most of episode 6 is Obi-Wan and Vader duking it out. So, like, at least one of those episodes, like, I'm not going to say is it going to count as an episode, but most of that episode is probably just going to be Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader part 2.
Yep.
So, buckle up, bitches.
And yeah, and just like people are like, I get that people are concerned about it, but like I get the sense that the writers know the weight of this too. Like, they can't not know the weight of Anakin and Vader. Not Anakin and Vader. I can't believe I just said that. Obi-Wan and Vader
I knew what you meant.
meeting again. Like, they can't not know that what they're doing has a lot of weight to it. I have faith. If they screw it up, they screw it up. But, we'll see.
Very exciting stuff. Moving on from our only piece of Disney Plus Day content. We also got the Boba Fett documentary that is on Disney Plus. I have not had a chance to watch it yet, but I've heard that it's really good. Connor, say words, and I'm going to do gross noises while I boot myself out of.
Okay, so because I watched the Boba Fett Disney Plus special, I thought it was really good. It showed.
I didn't know you watched it. That was brilliant.
Yeah, it showed how Boba, like, sort of his cultural impact, despite his limited screen time, and they like go over all this in the doc, like the specifics of like his origins, and George Lucas himself is in this doc, and it's really funny because it's George Lucas. And it also talks about like his resurgence in The Mandalorian, and just sort of, again, really just for the sake of repeating myself, the cultural impact Boba Fett has had despite his limited appearance. And it was really nice. They do a pretty good bit of it on Jeremy Bullock, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I look forward to watching it. I'm very.
And they don't mention.
Excited.
Nah, I won't say it. You'll see it.
They don't mention what the shit stain from who was like, who has 30 seconds as Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Good. That makes me happy.
Same. I was worried.
Moving along, we also have some disappointing news.
We have a lot of disappointing news.
We have a lot of news that's a mixed bag. Exclusive from get out of here. Get out of here. Exclusive from the Hollywood Reporter. Rogue Squadron has been delayed from Boris Kitt. Rogue Squadron, the Star Wars project due to be directed by Wonder Woman filmmaker Patty Jenkins, has been caught in the tractor beam and will take a little longer to make it to the big screen. Jenkins and writer Matthew Robinson have been developing Squadron for Lucasfilm for over a year, with the goal of starting production in 2022. It was to have gone to production by the end of this year. However, sources say the producers and filmmaking team came to the realization that Jenkins' schedule and other commitments wouldn't allow for the window needed to make the movie in 2022. Thus, Squadron has been taken off the production schedule. That hope is that Jenkins fulfills her previous commitments. She will return to the project. Squadrons would have been the first feature since the end of the Skywalker saga, which wrapped 2017's The Last Jedi. I'm kidding. 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. It has a release date of December 22nd, 2023. Okay, disclaimer. I'm way meaner to that movie than I actually feel. Like I shit on that movie more than I actually dislike it. Like, I have a lot of mixed opinions about that movie, but I also have fun, like, making fun of it. So, for those of you who do like that movie, there are parts of that movie that I love. There are parts of that movie that, in my opinion, are prime Star Wars. There are also parts of it that are cheeks, and I think the movie kind of averages out at about for me. But it's way too much fun to make fun of. Anyway. clarifying. Hey, Travis's birthday present is here. Thank God.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, part 2 of it. Also, another corruption sticker for me, but who cares? It is unclear if any of Jacob's commitments were at issue specifically, but she is in development on a third Wonder Woman movie for Warner Brothers and a Cleopatra feature for Paramount. Sources say Wonder Woman 3 was initially to have followed Squadrons, but that could shift now that the latter is off the table. Squadron and Jenkins' involvement was the first revealed during Disney's Investors Day in December 2020. In a video accompanying the news, Jenkins said she was using her fighter pilot father as an inspiration for her project and wanted to make the greatest fighter pilot movie ever made. It is unclear if Lucasfilm will have another Star Wars movie ready to go before Squadron, but development continues on several, among them from the one being produced by Kevin Feige to one from Taika Waititi. Lucasfilm is busy with Star Wars in the series sphere and has Book of Boba Fett debuting later this month, followed by Obi-Wan Kenobi, not later this month, that's at the end of the year, followed by Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and Ahsoka, not to mention Season 3 of The Mandalorian in there somewhere. It is also in production on Indiana Jones 5 and Willow. So, yeah. I mean, that sucks.
Yeah.
Have to wait longer for a Star Wars movie. Why? Okay, just putting this out there in the universe. I think it's really funny that people immediately assumed that another project was going to take this movie's place. Like instantaneously, people were like, Old Republic movie right now. Now, I will say, like, the fact that this movie is getting kind of like delayed indefinitely, which like sounds scarier than it is. I don't think that like that means in the same time, like they were making headway on this. That I don't like because we know so little about what's going on at Lucasfilm. Right? Because we know so little about Star Wars, we don't know how much work has been put into Taika's movie, into whatever the Kevin Feige movie is going to be. Obviously, we're going to talk later. There was a big rumor about the Kevin Feige movie that has seemingly been
Debunked.
Done away with. Yeah, debunked with the Chloe Zhao stuff. The big one, like, and I'll admit it. The brief speculation there for a second that this was going to be taken by Ryan's movie, I had a moment, I had my like, I was screaming from the rooftops, that like, there's a rumored Old Republic movie and it might be the Rian Johnson trilogy and all y'all can suck this dick. Like I had my moment. Like I was on the phone with several friends and I was like, if it's the Ryan movie, I'm going on my Last Jedi Stand revenge tour while Ryan directs an Old Republic movie and all y'all can die mad.
Death to all of them.
I had to.
That was perfect.
Thank you. That was like, this is gonna be my victory lap. And I was like, I need to calm down because I don't know that. Speaking of the Rian Johnson stuff, Disney at no point, and granted, I don't know that they necessarily would have, but there's nothing to say that like Ryan's project is dead in the water either. What's mostly, and what I'm hoping happens is when he's done with his Knives Out trilogy, like he's making 2 more Benoit Blanc movies for Netflix. When he's done with those, and I'm pretty sure, for lack of a better term, Knives Out 2 is done with production, is done with shooting now. It's going into post. It'll be on Netflix probably next year. After that goes out, they'll work on whatever Knives Out 3 will be. And then after that, Ryan's probably going to get to work on his Star Wars trilogy. Or not even necessarily trilogy, but whatever his Star Wars movie is. I think that Lucasfilm is taking its time with letting its directors work on their other shit before they get caught up with a big Star Wars project. Look at all the time they give Taika Waititi to knock out all his stuff.
Yeah.
Like they gave him all the time in the world, before we even knew that was in for discussion. Like he was, I'm pretty sure like the finishing touches on Jojo Rabbit were probably happening. Whenever like dotted lines were being signed, because again, this shit happens so long before we know. Like, to use another example, which again isn't airtight, everything is different because things are different. But look at Jonathan Majors showing up in Loki. We only found out he was signed on to play Kang the Conqueror 2 months before Loki started airing, right? And then Loki starts airing and everybody's going like, oh, all signs point to Kang. And everyone's going, yeah, but like, there's no way Jonathan Majors is in it because we only just found out. And it's like, no, we only just found out. We found out that Jonathan Majors had signed on to play Kang / Immortus / He Who Remains, whatever. There's nothing to say that like so much of this was not already solidified before we got told, especially with how secretive Lucasfilm is. So like, there's nothing to say that like that there aren't plans already in the works to like bump something up to take this slot. There might be. I'm not going to get my hopes up for it too much. But by the same token, there's stuff behind the scenes we just don't know about.
Yeah,
so
I think
I don't want to like I don't want to like black pill too hard about Rogue Squadron being pushed back. But like, I also don't want to like start baking conspiracy theories about what could be happening in its like to replace it on the schedule.
Yeah, because I think Big Screen Lakes, you might have seen this, Jared, but they pretty much said that like they saw the Hollywood Reporter report and they're like, yeah, it left out one tiny detail of like it was never going to be ready, like no matter what, to shoot, to get into production. But like on the same token, I'm glad, like sincerely glad, that with the movies, Lucasfilm is able to take its time now.
Yeah.
And sort of refine everything as best as it can. And that just makes me really happy on the movie side of things, because like TV's really looking to be the future of Star Wars live action content, and it's like the movies can kind of take a step back and really recapture that sort of event feeling. So
I agree with you, and I love Star Wars TV, but that would be lying if I said there wasn't a part of me that is waiting to get back in the theater.
Yep. Like seeing a Star Wars trailer, like I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Star Wars survived on books, comics, and like 1 or 2 TV shows every 2 years, I would be fine. Completely fine. But I also really miss the hype of seeing a Star Wars trailer in the movie theater.
I agree. I sound like shit because I'm like hacking and gagging.
You're good.
I hate my sinuses so much. I feel like shit. Anyway, moving on to our next story. I'm not going to tell anybody what the show notes actually say. God damn it. That's much better.
There we go.
I'm not going to say what the show notes actually say, but I am going to just put the picture I took of them on Twitter. Rumor! Lucasfilm is developing an Old Republic movie for 2023 as Rogue Squadron could move to 2024. We're reading the version of this from Star Wars Newsnet. Who, just because they and Jordan were wrong doesn't make them liars, you goddamn harpies. You don't understand how this shit works.
And they actually, admitted they were wrong.
Yes.
Which
makes that which is why, like I said on Twitter the other night, I am never going to stop using SWNN and Jordan as sources.
Death to all of them.
Y'all, the harpies, kiss my ass. A rumor from Big Screen Leaks has suggested that Lucasfilm is moving ahead quickly on a movie for 2023, but it's not Rogue Squadron. It's apparently a different film tied to the Old Republic era. Earlier today, our pal posted on Twitter a curious rumor that that a new and not yet revealed Star Wars film is planning to shoot next year. It is not tied to any of the of the reported film projects announced by Lucasfilm or the trades. Screenshot the tweet. Here, I'll pull it up on the website. There's a Star Wars film planning to shoot next year. It's not Taika's film, Feige's film, or Rogue Squadron, ... We reached out to the source for clarification on this interesting story, and we've learned that while Lucasfilm is moving full steam ahead on Rogue Squadron movie from director Patty Jenkins, they're taking their time to make sure that the screenplay is just right before filming begins. The script in question, written by Matthew Robinson, The Invention of Lying, Edge of Tomorrow, Love and Monsters, has itself received a major rewrite since it was first announced, and Jenkins herself is keeping busy with her work on the third Wonder Woman movie and a planned Amazon spinoff, which she is set to produce. The people at Lucasfilm wanted a hiatus from annual film releases in order to be able to ensure that each project they work on has the right amount of time and development, and they want to make sure that they don't have to rush anything to make specific deadlines. Good. Because of this,
the thing I love the most.
There is word that they are currently contemplating and are very close to pushing Rogue Squadron to some point in 2024. No word on what this might mean for the currently scheduled Avatar 3, which is slated to release in December, which seems to be the go-to window for Star Wars movies since Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm. Please keep Star Wars in December. I'm begging you. However, the current December 22, 2023 release date is still set to be filled by a new Star Wars project. Thankfully, Lucasfilm has been clandestinely working on several projects as part of their theatrical and streaming slates. And word is that one could take Rogue Squadron's current date is set in the days of the Old Republic. It's not clear if this is going to be a canon reimagining of the original story presented in the Tales of the Jedi comic or the BioWare RPGs, but it can be presumed that it may take inspiration from those stories. There's some precedent for Lucasfilm to be invested in Knights of the Old Republic concept beyond the remake of the original game, which was announced earlier this year. Back in 2019, BuzzFeed reported that Latea God damn it.
Yeah, I can't pronounce the last name either.
Cologris, Shutter Island, Ultra Carbon, and Alita Battle Angel has been commissioned to work on a project related to the Old Republic era, possibly as the first film in a potential trilogy. While this didn't seem to go anywhere for the past 2 years, it's likely it's been in the pipeline for a while and is the same project as the new movie scheduled to release in 2023. Keep in mind that for now, this remains a rumor and things could easily change. It's also possible that the 2023 movie could be another project that we don't yet know about, since an Old Republic story is one potential option. We'll likely find out more in the months ahead, as Lucasfilm has already adjusted their theatrical release window with Indiana Jones 5 being delayed to 2023. Nonetheless, we believe that if Lucasfilm are moving quickly on the project, then it's possible that it could begin filming at the end of next year and have more than enough post-production time in 2023 to be a full-fledged cinematic Star Wars experience. That's the story. Again, Big rumor, very self-explanatory. Not a whole lot to dig. I mean, there's plenty to dig into, but that would just be rampant speculation to just kind of
I think Jordan,
talk about the concept.
Yeah, I think Jordan on Twitter said something about how, and obviously this is, rumors, but like it would be an original Old Republic story. So I assume not based off of KOTOR or anything else. It would just be kind of originally told. And then there's also that rumor of like maybe a High Republic movie, which me personally kind of iffy on, unless it's set before Light of the Jedi.
I can go either way on any High Republic content. There's a part of me that is hesitant to see High Republic content in television or in a movie. Obviously, we're going to be getting the Acolyte.
Yeah, until the publishing is done. For the most
I am afraid, even if the publishing is done, I'm afraid of continuity errors and how much they're going to hold them to keeping things straight, especially after the Rise of Skywalker and the like, hey, Poe's a spice runner and fuck you, and they fly now.
I mean,
Not
the
that they
fly
fly now
part
is
isn't even. Yeah.
no, not that they fly now is anywhere near as egregious as making the one Latino guy in the movie a cocaine dealer. How that's incredibly problematic. It's still just like a tiny, like, weird continuity thing. Like, as much as I love that scene and think it's really funny, like, oh, great, they fly now. They fly now. They fly now. It's funny. It's cute. It is also a continuity error. Both can be true.
How so?
Just
A
that, like,
legit.
that there have been jet troopers since the Clone War.
Okay.
And, like,
yeah, okay.
in the Poe Dameron comic, Poe sees jet troopers. So, like, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, least of all Finn and Poe. But
I mean, I don't think Poe. I mean, if I had to guess, Poe is just like, I've seen this before. I'm done with this shit. Just let's get out of here. I don't know. Now that I know that, it feels like it adds a bit more context to him just going, they fly now. Let's go.
yeah, or even that, like, it's more of a situational, like, great, I thought this was a vehicle chase, now they're in the air. You can explain it away, like most issues in Star Wars. You can just kind of hand wave it with whatever reason you want to give.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe High Republic, maybe Old Republic, we will see. Speaking of,
Also on Friday.
Chloe Zhao not directing Kevin Feige's or any Star Wars movie. 3 days. It is another Star Wars Newsnet one, but this was from originally from the Hollywood Reporter, but I was already on Star Wars Newsnet when I was making show notes. 3 days ago, it was reported that Chloe Zhao was very close to signing on to Kevin Feige's Star Wars film. Now the Hollywood Reporter is claiming the report is inaccurate, and the Oscar-winning filmmaker is not directing any Star Wars movie, let alone Kevin Feige's. Direct quote from Hollywood Reporter. We've been hearing this you hear this one all week, but insiders insist that no, Chloe Zhao is not directing Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie or any Star Wars movie. If Zhao is not currently being recruited to join the Star Wars franchises, doesn't mean she can't in the future. As she has repeatedly shown interest, the Star Wars feature film landscape got a bit murkier this past week with the announcement that Rogue Squadron is being delayed, but who knows what the future holds. So,
Star Wars
no Chloe
fans just
Zhao in
took
Star Wars.
L after L on Friday.
Yes. Coming up on our last couple stories here. I also just want to say briefly, I do hope that eventually Ms. Zhao comes around, or Ms. Zhao comes around on the Star Wars thing, because I quite like the Eternals, and I would like to see her style all over a Star Wars. I actually do think Chloe Zhao would be a shoo-in to do the High Republic after seeing the Eternals. Another rumor, still with reliable source, Star Wars Newsnet. Rumor, Quantic Dreams game titled Star Wars Eclipse set in the High Republic era. Quantic Dreams rumored Star Wars title may be exploring an era that Lucasfilm has had a great degree of interest in, the High Republic. It's also going to be known as Star Wars Eclipse if this latest report is accurate. According to video game insider Jeff Grubb, Hat Tip Bespin Bulletin, the subtitle of the new Star Wars game is Eclipse. It will be made by Quantic Dream, and it is set during the High Republic era. Grubb revealed this rumor as a passing detail in a 3-hour podcast, which is embedded at the bottom of this article and is mostly about video games that have no relation to Star Wars. From what we've been able to tell, Quantic Dream's game has been in the pipeline for approximately 20 months now and is being made in their Montreal studio with general manager Stephanie. I'm going to say that's Stephanie because it's very French looking. Diasdo, best known for working on Deus Ex games, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, and gameplay director Yoan Cazo, who developed Assassin's Creed games like Black Flag, Origins, and Valhalla. Being hired to work there, word about the title is that there will be more action-driven than previous Quantic Dream games, with the possibility of multiplayer and open-world elements making their way into the title. Given who Quantic Dream has hired for this game, this would make quite a bit of sense. Something resembling Assassin's Creed combat, but with a lightsaber. You know what? This has been a drop-heavy episode.
It's gonna be a big nut bust.
Yes, indeed. It is believed that Lucasfilm will announce a new Star Wars game late into the year as part of their Bring Home the Bounty promotional event in the middle of December, and the Game Awards will happen before then, although there is no word if Quantic Dream's alleged title will be revealed at either point. Furthermore, Quantic Dream has unofficially confirmed that they are working on Star Wars Eclipse. In any case, we'll be sure to keep you updated with the latest of Star Wars gaming news.
I would be hyped if it wasn't Quantic Dream that was making it.
Why you don't like Quantic Dream?
Well, okay, so I mean, this is pretty much every other game company is pretty problematic, but like apparently in a court appearance back in June actually for a ongoing defamation lawsuit, both CEOs, one of them asked if he could just lie because he wasn't under oath, because there's been a lot of reports about the toxic work environment at Quantic Dream. And apparently David Cage, who is the founder, said, let's see, I'll just read a statement. So Cage was stammering in tears, explaining, "You interfere in my business," before leaving the courtroom. It is obvious that it was difficult for him to talk about honor when mentioned a list of remarks he apparently has made in public, which are, anyway, quote, "Anyway, in my games, in my games, all women are whores," quote, end quote, start quote, "In the open space, there is a lack of tits," and then quote, "At Quantic Dream, we don't make games for fags." Not fun stuff.
As someone who's one of those things, that guy can go fuck himself. Do we have word that either of those people still in charge at Quantic Dream?
It looks like it. I'll check right now.
I was gonna say, if they aren't good, if they are, again, like you said, pretty much every video game studio has either skeletons in their closet or skeletons very much on display.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It looks like he's still at it.
Good.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because it's like someone pointed out on Twitter, like the most diverse corner of the Star Wars galaxy, with the High Republic being, if that's touched by these guys, like I know there's a whole separate the art from the artist sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
Real hard.
There's that. There's the fact that they probably have a very diverse pool of employees, just because like the people who want to work on these types of projects, there is a very diverse crowd there.
Yeah. There's also obviously a lot more with like their allegations and everything that you can find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a good video game studio. It's one of those things where like you want to get excited for projects, but yeah. There's one of the reasons that like Insomniac like was getting praised earlier this week, but I think the last week, because it came out that like they changed the final boss battle of the Spider-Man PlayStation game, so that so that they wouldn't have to subject their workforce to crunch to make the final battle with Doc Ock happen in like the city destroying kind of way, and it's just a 1v1 with him on top of the Oscorp building, which I like more. So yeah, Connor, thank you for informing us on that one. For future reference next time, and I'm just going to leave this all in because we're very raw and honest how we do this kind of stuff. Content warning before throwing some of that stuff around. I'm going to put one in the show description though, so we're fine. But
yeah, we're good, because like,
yeah,
what was I going to say? Like, obviously there's a lot more, and I'm repeating myself again, but like obviously there's a lot more on the very toxic workplace environment with Quantic Dream that you can find out.
I'm sure if he's openly saying shit like that. Yeah.
And so, yeah, a lot of people aren't happy with this rumor.
Understandably, I was unaware of that stuff. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. And again, those are one of those situations, like kind of like with like the Mandalorian. Like Gina Carano was already being an ass while the Mandalorian was happening. You know, we didn't stop watching the Mandalorian. We were just very loud with our criticism of that individual. And I think that like we can kind of keep that same energy because unfortunately, there were a lot of people who definitely don't share that same butt fuck stupid worldview that this bastard has, who are working at Quantic Dream, who are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into. Again, this this is Schrodinger's video game. We don't even know if this is happening for real or not. But like in the event this game does exist and does come to pass, we gotta again, is that like if you don't feel comfortable, engaging with it, that's that's fine, that's fair. I understand that. There are people who definitely disagree with this piece of shit, who are putting everything they have into it, who are putting everything into telling this story of this incredibly diverse era of Star Wars. And when it comes out, if it is like markedly not as diverse as the rest of the High Republic has been, that's a conversation that needs to be had because we know exactly how that happened.
Yep. It would be really, really funny to find out that like the they pretty much bar the two CEOs from having any involvement in this at all.
Yeah.
That would just be really funny to me.
This will, like I said, this will be a very complex conversation to have as time
Yeah.
goes on. For our last story, which is just kind of going to be meant to be an epilogue to last weekend. Obviously, last weekend was Podathon. We had a lovely time. I had a lovely time working behind the scenes at Podathon. I was in this room for 15 hours. I had Pizza Hut, and I got a little buzzed on Force Connect, and Jackson Alepi wouldn't stop bullying me. And Jackson, it's on site. I have my trivia thing coming up with Bombadcast, and your punk ass is next. I'm putting you on blast. I'm on here with I pointed in the right direction. I'm on here with my manager. All right. Me, Spencer, Connor, we're coming for you, bitch. Anyway.
We still love
y'all
you.
Bitches. No. I want my rabbit's foot. You hoe ass, punk ass motherfucker. Anyway, during Podathon, an amazing moment happened. So my job during Podathon was I was working the green room. So there was a separate StreamYard that wasn't actually streaming or recording, where people just came in to make sure their settings were right, because those settings would carry into when they actually joined the main stream. So the end of everybody's segment, like the last 15 minutes, I missed because that time was spent schmoozing with whoever was next and making sure cameras and microphones worked. During that time, I had the honor of getting to briefly meet Mr. Charles Soule and Claudia Gray and Ian Convery, which was a lot of fun getting to talk to all of them. Very honored, very blessed that I got to be a part of that whole process. And I was was like, ooh, I'm meeting Star Wars people, bumping elbows and all that stuff. But Charles Soule said that he would give a scoop about Crimson Reign should they reach $7,500 by the end of the night. We reached $8,325, but we hit that 7,500 mark, and Charles Soule confirmed that part of the Crimson Reign story is going to be that the Knights of Ren are going to try to pull off a heist at Castle Vader. So, yeah, fun little stuff. Thank you to everybody who helped out and was involved in donating or was a part of Podathon in any way. Connor, it looked like you were pretty consistent in the streams by the look of it.
Yep.
So thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who was a part of it. The next big project and collaboration is going to be on December 2nd, live that night on the Bombadcast, Knights of the Nerd Republic versus the Bombadcast trivia. originally we were so here's how this happened. It was going to be a 2v2. And then I was told Jerry and it's only Scotty. We wanted to surprise Jerry. As you were talking about doing this, Scotty was like, I'm going to send you the link to the night's show. I want you to break in and then like issue the challenge live on air. And I was like, okay. And while I was issuing the challenge, Scotty decides to start improvising and goes, oh, yeah? Well, let's make it a 3v3, and we're going to have Michael from All Remaining Systems. And I was like, I had no intentions on this being 3 versus 3. And now I'm very confused. I'm going to volunteer Connor to be on my team.
Yeah, I got texted. Yeah, I got Jarod texted me, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I saw the video, and I was like, wow. And that was before it was taken down.
Yeah, they had to take it down because copyright shit, because they were like basically watching The Last Jedi on air, which is why they had me on the show. But so that's happening. And then we're having Eli from Star Wars in a Galaxy write the questions because he's a Schmodown guy, and it's kind of going to be like Schmodown-esque how we do it. And I realized that the most efficient way to do this was to basically do it as like a Star Wars teams match, even though that's never happened in the Schmodown. And I kind of realized this is going to be really hard to do with 3 people, like on each team. So I made, and then I tried. So Connor is now our manager, and that's how we're going to be doing this. But I trust you. I trust your leadership. You're going to be invaluable during the wheel round.
I don't trust myself. I just need to figure out how this all. We'll figure out the logistics of it.
Yeah. Oh, we'll figure it all out. We have like half a month, but yes, December 2nd, Knights of the Nerd Republic versus Bombad Cast. Be there, be square, root for the winning team, because I'm coming in and I'm going to feed Scotty J. Rowe his own sphincter by the time I'm done with him, metaphorically speaking. Connor, where can the lovely people find you, buddy?
They can find me on Twitter at DepaBanana, Instagram, ConmanJFO, and very slowly writing articles and stories at sweditorIG.com. It's a pretty cool universe we're creating. Stories are already out. We have a bunch more for next year. The big thing that we do is we adhere to the canon of Star Wars, and we don't just do our own thing just because we could. Technically, we just we still tell original stories, and we just make sure that they like fit as neatly into the Star Wars canon as possible, as well as our own canon. So that's like really fun. So
until Disney resets the canon and then does the Mary Sue communist sequels.
That too.
John and Dave for the blueprint. Okay, I'm done now. I saw this like unhinged Doomcock tweet. I didn't even see the tweet personally. I just saw people screenshot it. It like he seems so unhinged, and he's like the wheels are. I haven't watched Doomcock in months. And someone needs to tell me they're proud of me. No. Like I'm gonna relapse. I'm gonna watch Doomcock like right after we're done recording now.
Don't do it.
Because nobody went, wow, I'm really proud. I have not like subjected myself directly to fandom menace shit since the Alex Jones thing.
Yeah, that's good. Don't do that.
I've still been listening to Knowledge Fight, so like I'm still getting my like Alex Jones. Like I'm still getting my. I still listen to all the same things I listen to about like the actual far right and not the nerd version of it. But I haven't subjected myself to any fandom menace content in a while.
Good. Anywho, where can the lovely people find you, Jarod?
You guys can find me being like 2 months strong of not watching Doomcock videos at Dark Jedi 2552, and you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page.
Give me $1.
Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus Nick Johnson, the Waffle Wizard, Delta 9, and I think that's all the $10 patrons. I can never remember anymore. I can't keep anything straight. Last year, last year off the top of my head, I knew who won every single versus matchup. Now I can I'm like, what did we do in March? Oh my God, I forgot Paco. I'm so sorry. We got Nick Johnson, never going to fright you up, never going to scare you down, never going to run around and spook you, Delta 9 and the Waffle Wizard. So thank you to all of you guys. Again, Sunday's Bloody Mary, code TNAP, TNAP, 10% off your order. Help us out. Get yourself some badass Bloody Mary mix. It's very good. I might have one myself here in a minute, not going to lie, because the spicy will open up my sinuses some. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you all so very much for watching or listening, however you engage with this show. And may the force be with you always.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!